Hello, hello, this is Cara, and I am back with week 2 of Crafty Christmas in July 2024, the collab with Sweet Pea Papers that you can see there upside down that I'm using as my guide for my hidden spine. So I decided with this journal that I would do a hidden spine. I found a book that I just love the color. I think I show you the book cover in a minute. And I thought, all right, how about a hidden spine for this journal? And it's been a while since I've done a hidden spine. So above where I'm punching my holes, there is that piece of fabric, and I've covered it's a thickness of two pieces of cardboard together, and that's going to be my actual part that I sew my signatures to. So I'm doing a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, and the paper that I have over that I was using as my guide, I do that for all of my journals. I cut a piece that is as long as the journal or the book pages, and then I fold it in half, and then I fold it in thirds, and you'll see the dots on either side. Then I use those dots as my guide for poking the holes. And here I'm getting some wax thread. I have this maroonish color that I thought was perfect in my stash. And I'm going to show you how I sew them onto the hidden spine. I like to go about 3-ish lengths of my book pages just so I have enough extra twine or string, whatever you want to call it, because you can either then have a dangle or tie it in a nice bow. Okay, so now I'm going to start sewing my signature and adding it to that hidden spine. If I can thread the needle. I have to smush the wax thread for it to fit through the needle. And I'm going to do the second signature first. It doesn't necessarily matter, I don't think. It's just kind of the habit that I started when I first started making journals. Making sure that the music is going the right direction. I'm going to go through the center hole. And then I'm going to the top one above it. Like I was saying, I think sometimes the hidden spine is actually a little easier because of this piece is smaller than the full book. Trying to get it to go where you want it to go. So yeah, so I'm going to go up, and then I have 2 holes above the center, and you'll see me kind of weave back in. But at the end, I like to come so that the string ends up going through the center again, and you'll see that. Okay, so here I'm going through the final hole, and then I'm going to go right back through that center hole. Sometimes, I know with me, I get my threads caught on each other, and so sometimes I have to rethread the whole thing and try again. Or if it's a couple threads that kind of get stuck together, I'll just trim them. But it depends because you don't want to make your thread too weak. I think I do that here where it gets kind of stuck. So you can rethread it, especially if it's like the last hole that you are stitching through, or if it's a few threads that you've gone through, you can just snip it. And then I'm going to then sew on my second signature, which is actually the first signature. All right, so again, I'm going to go through the middle first, and then the middle of the cardboard. Wiggle, wiggle. Sometimes a pair of pliers, if it gets too hard to pull, is helpful to help grab the needle. And then there I'm just feeling for the bump that the awl made to find where the hole is. Sometimes that can be difficult. And then through the top. Oh, yeah, second one up. I thought we were at the top, but no, second one up. And then we're going to go back down. And then through the cardboard. I don't know about you, but for the longest time, the sewing of the signatures kind of stressed me out. Um, I've done it enough that I realize that if I mess up, there's ways to fix it. But it did stress me out for a long time. So if you're a new junk journaler, have no fear. You can fix it. And sometimes you just have to kind of wiggle it and kind of make it work because sometimes it can be a little frustrating. But practice, practice, I guess. And I still, even though I've made several journals, I still feel like I have room for practice and growth. All right, so here I skip the middle and I go down to the second from the bottom hole. And then I'm going to now sew into the bottom hole, and then you'll see that I go back up to the center hole. Oh, sorry, I'm not really on camera, I'm trying to see the hole. And then I'm going to go back down through that second hole and then back out through the center. And there we go. And then I like to have one string on one side of that thread and one on the other and tie a knot. But first I'm going to tighten up the strings. Just takes a little fiddling to get them nice and tight. And then here I've tied the knot, one on one side, and I tie two knots. And there are my signatures sewn into my hidden spine, or my hidden spinding, my hidden binding. Looks pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to glue my signatures and my hidden spine into my journal. And I'm just going to use a lot of fabric tack. Oh, I lied. Before I do that, I'm going to use this Tim Holtz fabric to kind of hide kind of the messy edges and give it some fun contrast. This book was really interesting. I think it had a different cover than the cover it has now, because when I took the spine or the book pages out of the spine, there was actually, it looked like a different cover, or like a red cover. It's very strange. So someone, I think, covered it. And then that marble paper, I think, is maybe handmade paper that someone used. It's just really interesting to me. So I'm going to add this fabric. A little bit will go on either side of the front and the back. And then I'm going to glue in my spine. All right, so now that it is glued in, I have to hold it here so that it actually kind of sticks. And in the future, while I'm working on it, I might have to add some more glue to the edge, like that one right there. But that's kind of why I was pressing it down to kind of help it stay. So I'm gonna sit here for a little bit, and keep keep the journal in place, and we'll be back with the next part. Okay, so once it's all glued in, I found some ribbon in my stash, the nice plum color. I have lace and ribbon, and I have some gold. So I'm going to go through the journal now and add some lace and ribbon throughout the journal. Okay, I've added the lace and ribbon. Let's just take a little quick look. I think next I'm going to do some sewing. I made these fabric pockets. I'm going to sew those and then put some sewing around the edges and then put those in the book. And then I think we need to decorate. This I made last year. It's a little envelope flip. And I added that to the book. These are little tucks. So this one I might need to add something to. Yeah, so I have all the lace and ribbon. I think that looks nice. I have my hidden seam binding. I want to cover this up. I'm just not sure how I want to do that. I love this cover. Really cool. So that is where the Christmas journal is at. Yeah, so come on back and next time we will add some embellishments to it.